In this world, is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity or law? Is it like the hand of God hovering above? At least it is true that man has no control, even over his own will.
It feels like a lot has happened, hasn't it? Like in a very short amount of time, right? It feels like not so long ago, Guts was kept imprisoned by Farnese, and it was just Guts and Puck. And they escaped, and then Rape Horse. And now look how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. That's like the thing I have made that I am the proudest of that I made. Oh, I guess it didn't save. So this is either gonna be either we're gonna have 2 more levels after this, or 1 more level after this, because I can see them doing this, and then, no, for sure, there's gonna be at least 2 more levels. There's this one after that, and then the one that kinda closes out the troll story that we've got going on here. And then I'm very curious to see, like, what they do after that, because there's a couple different things they can do. I'm very curious. But you don't know what I'm talking about, so I'll just... Fuck. Yeah! I fucking love that loading screen game. I love little loading screen games. Look at Shirk in her little witch outfit! That's my favorite thing! I love that she's just straight up in the witch uniform. Yeah, Skull Knight. Yeah. Skull Knight.
これでお気に召しまして。それにしてもどういう風の吹き回しかしら。あなたが私に頼み事だなんて。それも誰かのために。Maybe a little bit of column A, maybe a little bit of column B, you know what I'm saying? 利用しているだけ。古き友よ。あなたにまだ人としての心が残っていると。I
don't think you understand how skeletons work, Flora. Again, total Dr. Manhattan, like, I know what's gonna happen, but I'm, like, helpless to do anything to change it. I like how even the witch is like, yeah, God is totally a thing. Even though she's all magic and shit, she's still like, yeah, like, God ordains the fucking fate for us. Because that's the other cool thing, like, the last arc, the Conviction arc, was all about the religious aspect of the setting. But now that that storyline is over, that's kind of been pushed to the side. Like, it's still present, but it's not like the predominating factor guiding the arc anymore. Because when they get to the village, like, they're brought there by this old man who was totally cut from the game. Which is fine. Even though he does something later. But not important. They meet, like, and they get there and they're all dressed weird and Shirk's dressed like a fucking witch. And it's not like, oh, what's it? Like, no. She's Elvira. There we go. Elvira. I'm just gonna call her Elvira. They see her and they're like, yo, what's with that witch get up? It's not one of those things where they try and play like, oh, I've never seen, like, no. She is dressed like a goddamn witch. And they're like, what is this shit? What is this, like, band of performers? Get out of here. And this priest is like, yo, don't be dressing like that. I wonder if the priest is gonna actually, like, be in it, because he does some stuff. But like, it's not the factor that's guiding the story anymore, but it's still there. It's in the background now. It's been introduced, so it's a present part of the world state. Just like the nobility and the like highfalutin politics of the medieval world is still there. It's just not. It doesn't matter anymore. It's not what the story is about. For this arc, the story is about the magic shit. They're still shit talking religion, but that's not like. Now it's about the, like, we're transitioning from the topic of the religious elements to the magic elements, to paganism, which is really interesting, because it's raising those historical events of, like monotheism kind of superseding paganism and converting pagans and doing that whole thing and kind of completely replacing that in the spectrum of history. Like, there's not really any pagans anymore. Yeah, still have that white hawk. Because that's totally a good symbol to have. Trills! Poor Japanese voice actors trying to pronounce. I'm here. What up? Look at Serpent go! Oh my fucking god, I forgot to change my item loadout. You know what? If I don't force myself to do it now, I'm just never going to remember. So I'm just gonna fucking enforce that on me now. Because god damn it, like every single time, I'm forgetting. If I don't see every single category improve, then it's not worth it. Yep, none of these are worth it. Really, who cares about, like, futzing around with your goddamn, like, equipment to min-max things, honestly. Anyway. And hopefully they're gonna have a cool little animation for it. But we see a nice big factor about how the magic works in this setting. So like now it's the interplay, like the religious details are kind of being used to introduce the idea of magic in this setting. Because like you can pretty much assume that things in Berserk Land work the same way as they do in the real world until stated otherwise. So religious doctrine is like, yo, magic is evil and the devil, unless stated otherwise. Assume like historic reality. Look at Isidro rocking the salamander dagger. You can see it on his model. He's using it, even though he's not playable. I think that's great. Like a funny little detail. It doesn't look like Farnese is using the silver dagger though. Ivalera. And again, it's not like easy Harry Potter magic. It's like complicated, classic-ass, oh, you gotta do all these rites and throw down a fucking magic fetish or a talisman in order to channel the fucking magical effect. And I love that. I love magic that's like, you need prep. You need prep time in order to set this up. You can't just cast a fucking spell. You can't just swing your little wand. You need like fucking... You need to go collecting berries and shit. You need to like harvest some Eye of Newt to make that shit work. Get a move on, guys. Come on. Look at that little magic pixel that's stopping them from being killed. What a bunch of assholes. Let's go. Oh, you know what? I have a horse. Come on. Come on. Horsey. Gotta go save the last batch of citizens. This whole, like, fight is really nifty in the comp, by the way, because it's, like, the first time Serpico uses his new shit, and he's all like, yo, it's really badass, like, the depiction of it. Where he's like, you gotta believe in the power of the fucking sylphs. And he's like, okay, buddies, help me out here. And they come out, and he just yeah, Cedro. He just swings his fucking feather duster, and they just go flying out and just slice the shit out of everyone's shit. He's literally just swinging the sword, and people just die. Well, not people, but like... Well, it works on people too. It's not like it's only for use on magic opponents like the trolls. It works on everyone. The sylphs are not fucking discriminating. The minions. The minion trolls. And while she's doing this, the priest is going up on top of the roof where she is and being like, hey, knock it off. Knock it off. No magic from you. But she's all in a trance, and so Farnese and Katsuka have to go up there to defend her. Guts-san. And Farnese is like, he's the same. He's the same as how I used to be. She sees herself, herself in the blind devotion to the point of, like, self-defeating-ism in the priest, where he's like, oh, yeah, I don't give a shit if I die. If my life is saved by magic, then that's even worse than dying. I must live in God's graces and whatnot. And she's like, you're fucking stupid! Shut up! Actually, she's totally a pussy about it, and is like, oh, what right do I have to criticize him if I was the same as he was? And it's like, shut the fuck up, Farnese. People's lives are at stake. It's just a really cool fight because everyone gets an opportunity to help out. It's not just Guts doing everything, which I always appreciate. You know, it's always that Dragon Ball Z problem of only the main character matters, and no one else gets to, like, contribute. No one else, like, makes a difference. It's all just Goku, or whatever. But nah, like, Guts does a lot of the heavy lifting, because of course he does. I mean, like, thinking of it in terms of the D&D party thing, fucking Guts has been solo grinding for fucking years and years. Of course he's, like, way over-leveled compared to everyone else. But, like, Isidro even helps out. Even though he's just a little baby boy. Come on. You got it from here, Serpico. I'll go cover the babies. Oh, the frame rate. You break a couple barrels and the frame rate just fucking loses its shit. Oh, and fucking Guts gives Isidro his grenades that Rickard gave him, that I just used and for some reason fucked up. And he uses those, like, cause it was established that he's really good at throwing throwing stones and busting people upside the fucking head with pebbles and shit. Not really like pebbles, but like, you know, racks. You know how racks be. Strong troll. Okay, stand still. Bam. Just the fucking devastation. How many different models did they make for the different states of the enemies in the process of being obliterated by Guts' sword? That's such a dumb thing too, because like there was a weird idiocy for a while where people were like, oh, medieval swords weren't even sharp. They didn't cut people. They were just blunt objects that you just crushed their head with or whatever. And it's like, you're literally fucking stupid. Like, yeah, they're heavy and you can bludgeon a bitch with them, but they're still swords. What do you mean they weren't sharp, you fucking idiot? Yeah, here we go. Here's Shirk. Yeah! In the astral plane. That's like kind of a not as cool depiction of what actually happened. And there's this great moment where like she's standing up there. Yeah, that's one hell of a girl. Where she's standing up there with the little like face, like I'm not gonna remember, but it's like the emote where it's 2 O's and a period in the middle. Oh, it's raining. With the little O period O face. Just standing there like, eat! and Guts is like, yeah, that's the fucking girl up there. That's my Daughteru. It's my magic Daughteru. Look at this. The ogre, the troll models are wet. That's so crazy that they put the extra work in and like added a layer on top of their model. That's so cool. Like. Guts, you've come such a long way. He's calling her Commander. That's so adorable. And that's why, like, we've seen the Frog Horse is my kind of opponent. We've seen, like, what organized religion looks like in Berserk's world. And now we're being introduced, like, to the other side of that, to paganism. And it's the same thing, where everyone used to be pagans. And then fucking organized religion came around and kind of superseded all that and kind of took over. Excuse me. So we've already seen like the new thing, and now we're being introduced to the pagan thing. And it has even more significance because we've seen the true face of what the religious doctrine is. We've seen that what they're praying to isn't God, it's closer, well, it's the idea of evil and the God hand and Griffin and all that shit. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't appreciate that. And we've seen, like, the signs that it's not just blind faith either. The things they're worshipping actually exist, but we've seen what those things are, and they're not good things. They're bad things. They're fucking evil. So it's like all this extra weight to it, where the things they're worshipping is super fucking evil and real at the same time. Oh, I wanted to at least kill it. I feel like I was fighting the clock to try and actually... Man, this battlefield's getting fucked up. Excuse me. Where's Serpico? Your frog is here! And then, like, you know, turn the table and see what the actual magic of the setting looks like. And it's not saying it here, but Shirk is calling on the power of the 4 kings. The 4 different elementals of, like, wind, earth, water, fire, the classics, you know, Captain... By your powers combined, I'm Captain Shirk. Obviously. But then you stop and think about it with your own brain, and you're like, wait, the 4 elemental kings and the God Hand before Griffith was 4 members. And it's like, which came first? And Shirk says to the priest, where he's like, oh, I guess magic's real then. And she's like, the 4 elemental kings whose power I called upon is the same as the 4 angels that were written about in your holy scripture. The 4 angels that you pray to are the same as the 4 elemental kings. You just call them by a different name. So your persecution of people who worship the same thing but just call it something different is dumb. But then you're like, wait, they're not praying to the 4 angels, though. We know what the 4 angels are. The 4 angels are the God Hand. They're praying to the God Hand. And you start thinking, like, which came first, then? Did the scriptures come before the God Hand? Did it used to be like what Shirk is saying, where originally the scriptures were written and in worship of these 4 angels were just the 4 kings? And you're like, which is it though? Because we know what the 4 angels are. It's the fucking God Hand. Who are those prayers really going to, right? And you don't get a clear answer from it. It's not even something the story really raises. It's just kind of something that you're left to think about yourself and put together in your own head. We're like, wait a minute, that's not entirely accurate, Shirk. Hopefully I got the Balet for protecting Serpico. Like, that's just what she knows. But we, as the audience, know things that this character doesn't. And so you're left to wonder, like, are the 4 God Hand members, like, replicating the fucking 4 kings? Is that a coincidence? Is it part of the hand of fate that's guiding the laws of causality? Like, what is the, like, intent? What is the degree of awareness that these characters are putting forth in their efforts? Oh yeah, during all that, Farnese and Casca got swept away in the river. They're like, oh, it was the 4 kings, and that's what the pagans worship. But then, the fucking religion came around and got rid of all that. So is it like Shirk says, where it's just the same, the four kings are the four angels and it's a different name? Or when did the God Hand oh, now the talisman is gone for some reason. When did the God Hand show up? And when did those lines start getting blurred?
いました。感じます。二人のオド。二人とも無事です。でも、これはトロールに連れて行かれてるようです。
And it also imparts on us new information that changes things that we already knew about. Because I talked about the Beast of Darkness, and it's this manifestation of all of Guts' negative emotions. But then you're like, wait, the Beast only started coming up and showing up after Guts got the brand, after the Golden Age. And the Skull Knight said the brand marks him as living in the interstence, the plane in between the physical world and the astral planes. He's closer to the astral plane than any non-magic human should be. So the Beast isn't just some split personality thing. It's this manifestation of Guts' like faith in his own anger and rage and all those negative emotions that's being given physical form by the astral plane. Because, like, and there's that third fucking dimension where thought denotes reality. It's like the collective subconscious that created the idea of evil, which is the force that Griffith is working for. Maybe it's that same thing. Like, the idea of evil is the god that the God Hand is working for. The Beast is Guts' idea of evil. It's the same concept, but on a smaller scale, on a personal scale. That's Guts' idea of evil. And it's manifesting in the physical world because Guts exists at this interstance, and he just, like, showed up in Guts' own mind before. But now, because Griffith is back and the lines between reality are starting to blur, the Beast, this magical entity who's, like, formed from Guts' negative feelings, is starting to become more and more real. And you're like, that's the great part about Berserk's world, because, like, it's never something that just sits you down and exposits to you. You just slowly learn new things about the way the world works as it becomes relevant. Magic was never relevant before, now it is, so we're learning about the rules of how the magic and all that shit works. And based on this new information that we're discovering about this new element of the story, you can look back and, like, oh, so that thing that we thought was this thing was actually this new thing, and we just didn't know that previously. And it's like, oh, was he ingeniously laying the foundations and foreshadowing this information we'll later get? Or did he change his mind about what that shit that he originally introduced would be later on and totally retconned the shit out of it? That's the wonderful game you get to play when you overthink stupid shit the way I do.
なんだか魔女の館にたどり着いた時と真逆って感じだぜ。
やはり恐れていたことが。ここは隔離用です。それも少々厄介な隔離用の闇の領域、クリフォトです。
クリフォト。
These poor fucking Japanese voice actors. I always feel so bad for them.
幽体とは
Okay, try and say troll. Troll. Good effort. Good effort. I appreciate the hustle.
ここは逆。暗くよどんだ心の群れ集うよ。
クリルポフェ
クリほどです。
クリポフェです。
通常ありえないことです。
シェルケ。
隠りよと
It's sure. It's supposed to be pronounced sure.
重なることなど、トロールやオーグル、妖精や
トロールやオーグル、
幽体の生物たちがまるで
I feel so bad.
のように人々に
These poor little Japanese voice
彼らは
actors.
本来私たちの精神世界。
Of course, this level totally justified in only having guts because he's the only one here. The last level, you totally could have had Serpico be playable. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying.
どうなるってんだ？
His fight with that fucking frog horse was awesome. And this is the chapter actually where Isidro gets to do some badass stuff. Because he tried to fight the trolls before, using like some techniques he learned while fighting guts. But like the sword he had was too heavy for him, so the old man character who got cut gave him a new sword, and it's better for his size because it's like this cool little Eastern sword. And he gets to use that during this level and do some cool stuff with it.